Hello, friends and viewers. Edgar Allen Poe, a famous writer, he had written a short story. So, the name of this short story is The Fall of the House of Usher, 1839. So, Edgar Allan Poe, he is a famous writer. So, let us come towards this short story, The Fall of the House of Usher. The story starts like an unnamed narrator approaches the house of Usher, a dull, dark, soundless day. This house, the estate of the boyhood friend Roderick Usher, is gloomy and mysterious. The narrator observes that the house seems to have observed an evil and disease atmosphere from the decaying trees and murky ponds around it. He notes that although the house is decaying in places, individual stones are disintegrating. For example, the structure itself is fairly solid. There is only a small crack from the roof to the ground in the front of the building. He has come to the house because his friend Roderick sent him a letter earnestly requesting his company. Roderick wrote that he was feeling physically and emotionally ill, so the narrator is rushing to his assistance. The narrator mentions that Usher family, though an ancient clan, has never flourished. Only one member of the Usher family has survived from the generation to generation, thereby forming a direct line of descent without any outside branches. The Usher family has become so identified with its estate that the peasantry confuses the inhabitants with their home. The narrator finds the inside of the house just as spooky as the outside. He makes his way through the long passage to the room where Roderick is waiting. He notes that Roderick is paler and less energetic than he once was. Roderick tells the narrator that he suffers from the nervous and fear and that his senses are heightened. The narrator also notes that Roderick seems afraid of his own house. Roderick's sisters, Madeline, he has taken ill with a mysterious, she has taken ill with a mysterious sickness, perhaps catalepsy, the loss of control of one's limbs, that the doctors cannot reverse. The narrator spends several days trying to cheer up Roderick. He listened to Roderick's play the guitar and make up words for his songs, and he reads him stories. But he cannot lift Roderick's spirit. Soon Roderick posits his theory that the house itself is unhealthy, just as the narrator supposes at the beginning of the story. Madeline soon dies, and Roderick decides to bury her temporarily in the tombs below the house. He wants to keep her in the house because he fears that the doctors might dig up her body for scientific examination. Since her disease was so strange to them, the narrator helps Roderick put the body in the tomb. And he notes that the Madeline has rosy cheeks, as some do after death. The narrator also realizes suddenly that Roderick and Madeline were twins. Over the next few days, Roderick became even more uneasy. One night, the narrator cannot sleep either. Roderick knocks on his door, apparently hysterical. He leads the narrator to the window from which they see a bright looking gas surrounding the house. The narrator tells Roderick that the gas is a natural phenomenon, not altogether uncommon. The narrator decides to read to Roderick in order to pass the night away. He reads Mad Tryst by Sir Lancelot Canning, a medieval romance. As he reads, he hears noises that correspond to the description in the story. At first, he ignores these sounds as the vagaries of his imagination. Soon, however, they become more distinct and he can no longer ignore them. He then notices that Roderick has slumped over his chair and is muttering to himself. The narrator approaches Roderick and listens to what he's saying. Roderick reveals that he has been hearing these sounds for the days and believes that they have buried Madeline alive and that she is trying to escape. He yells that she is standing behind the door. The winds blows open the door and confirms Roderick's fears. Madeline stands in white coffin, her robes bloodied from her struggle. She attacks Roderick as the life drains from her, and he dies of fear. The narrator flees the house. As he escapes, the entire house cracks along the brick in the frame and crumbles to the ground. So this is the end of the fall of the house of the Usher. This fall of the house of Usher possessed the quanti-essential features of a Gothic tale: a haunted house, dreary landscape, mysterious sickness, and double personality. For all its easily identifiable Gothic element. However, part of the terror of the story is its vagueness. We cannot say for sure when in the world or exactly when the story takes place. Instead of standard narrative markers of the place and time, Poe uses traditional Gothic elements such as inclement weather and a barren landscape. We are alone with the narrator in his haunted space, and neither we nor the narrator know why, although he is Roderick's most intimate boyhood friend. The narrator apparently does not know much about him, like the basic fact that Roderick has a twin sister. Poe asks us to question the reason both for Roderick's decision to contact the narrator in his time of need and bizarre tenacity of narrator's response, while Poe provides the recognizable building block of the Gothic tale. The House of Usher is a strange horror tale and written by Edgar Allen Poe short story published in 1839, and this is the story. I hope you will enjoy this mysterious and horror tale, The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you very much.